Moved up into second there. The Bentley's trying for the lead. Tony Foster's looking.
To be honest, it's the weight of letting people down, you know. You think you've got all your crew, your family, your sponsors, and they're all there to see you, you know, and it is a bit of pressure. Not that anyone's ever put it on me, it's just that I feel, you know, when we win, I can stand back and look, and I think that's one of the things that gives me the drive to carry on. You see the smiles for miles and miles, you know, the crew, the families, and it's just, yeah, when you lose, it's those hard times that you got to go home and, you know, you just got to reassess things and get back out there and you just keep trying. And like I say, it's if you persist, you'll get there. It's just, life never works out how you want it to, eh? It's, you just got to go with the flow and do what you can. Oh yeah, it's my name's Jamie Fox. I'm obviously 60 years old now. I just turned 60, so and I raced 99, well, number 11 nowadays, but yeah, I raced that modified, and yeah. My cousin Roy Walker was a great saloon car driver in the days. He came from Otara. He lived in Otara. They grew up, my Auntie Jean, their family grew up in Otara. Him and his brother Roy Walker and Mark Walker, they both raced stock cars. So that is probably how I got into it as a young kid. I used to go over there in the weekends and watch them. And yeah, as I grew up, I always wanted to race. So yeah, I suppose you could, that was how I probably got into it. The first part of my career is obviously my family, my wife Anne, and my kids Steve and Alan, and my crew Jamie, which is Jamo, everyone knows him, Chris, Jeremy, Fredo in the early days, his brother Ron. They started the class modifieds, was pretty early in the career, in their days. And yeah, I just thought I could build one and we could race, and that's what I did. I built one. My father-in-law welded it, John. He welded it for me so I couldn't weld, but yeah, everything else I pretty much built and done, and it kept me busy. It was a passion, and we weren't planning on being too competitive. It was just all about having fun, you know. And there was a guy, Phil Game, everyone will know him, Phil Game in his day. He was probably one of the real hard chargers of the sport, and yeah, I think I always looked at him and thought if I could get as good as him, you know, and that's probably, I went from that to trying to grow to challenge him, and Roger Bertram, who obviously was probably one of the greatest modified drivers we've had. But yeah, I've raced with most top cars. Murray Gorge over the years, I think he won 5 titles. Bertram's won 5 New Zealand titles. He's won 10 or 7 or something all up. But yeah, those guys were the guys that were on top of their game, and took us years and years and years to get to their level. I got a bit better and a bit better, and then when I did finally manage to start winning stuff and we started doing well, you just obviously grow a passion for it. And then when we won a few big events, you try and strive to do it again and again and again. And yeah, I think really the biggest part of it obviously is my family behind me being able to do it, and my crew and my sponsors that have been with me all those years. They're the ones that are still alive, some have passed on unfortunately, but the ones that are still alive are the ones that started with me when I was young. So they've been right through. We were mates at school, and yeah, we just all had a passion for it and slowly worked up to what we got today. Yeah, everyone grew up and had their families and moved on with their lives, and fortunate for me, obviously Jamie, Chris, Jeremy, and now the last 10 years we've had Chris's son and Jamie's son, Nick, on board with us. So, you know, it's followed on, and like I say, Nick and Regan are the sons of my two main crew members that have been with me for years. So, you know, it's generations. There's a lot of young kids coming through mini stocks, like, you know, with Carlos and Brienne, and they're talented, mate. They are talented. You know what? Took me probably 20 years to learn what these guys are learning, and they're going to be 15, you know, and they know more than what it took me 20 years to learn. So yeah, it's these kids. I think they're light years ahead of where we were when we started. Fred's putting the mini stocks into some good places with good stead with setups and helping them grow as young kids. You know, they really are only kids, but we never had the guidance. There was, you know, I did everything, or we did everything, I suppose, on our own, and we copied things, and yeah, they're learning things at 15, or 14, some of them are 13, but they're learning these things, which took us 10 years to learn, you know. And these kids have got some talent, and they've got parents that are passionate about putting their kids in whether it's modified or stock car or whatever, you know. All these years I raced, it has been enjoyable. The people I've met, the people we've mingled with, the whole atmosphere has been awesome, you know. And these kids in mini stocks, they're young, so they've got a lot of life to live, and things might change in 2 years for them, you know, but they've got to enjoy it, you know. As long as they enjoy it, fair enough, everyone's competitive and everyone wants to win, but first and foremost in that class, I think if you can just go out there, enjoy yourself, turn some awesome laps and stay on the track for every race as much as you can, you know, rather than crashing and bashing and getting towed off, you'll learn, and then things will fall into place, you know. That's just how it happens. But yeah, I think the world's their oyster, you know. Long as they choose what they love to do, and if they love to stick with the racing, from what I've seen, these kids will go a long way, you know. Yeah, I've been blessed with good people around me, and good sponsors, good fastening solutions. Tony Marsh done the engine, and Tim Clark does the shocks, and yeah, Vertex Oils, they sponsored a lot of lubricants for the engine and everything, the diff. And Brian, who owns BDC Engineering, he's my other big sponsor. He sponsored me right through my career, but his father, when he started his business, he let me race a car, which Des Clark, everyone knows him. I raced a car for them for years. It wasn't even my own, you know, until he got sick and we had to, we sold the car, and then we bought my own car and went from there. But with aviation, fire and cargo coordinators, with Sean and CJ coming on board in the last 2 years of my career, was a big burden because CSL left. So it was a burden. It was a burden we had with no sponsors. It was going to cost a bit of money, and with them coming on board, it was awesome just for those last couple of years for us, you know. And CJ, knowing him from such a young age to grow up, and now he's one of my sponsors, it's awesome. And so yeah, you know, without all those guys, Gemmo's put a hell of a lot into it. You know, he's half owner of this really. Obviously it took a lot of money, and then we built that trailer and stuff, so I've got many, you know, there's heaps of people involved which without them I could never have done it, you know. And it's a team effort, and certainly been blessed to have probably, I'd say, one of the best teams out there, you know.
A titanic battle for the North Island title, with a runoff still to decide second and third place. But it's Jamie Foxx that continues his fantastic season.
Oh, Jamie Foxx, it just gets bigger and better for you, and yet it was so close with that third heat.
Yeah, no, it was close to right, and I don't know, things seem to be going our way at the moment, so I will take it. You know, it's been a hard night and hard track to race on, and you know, everyone needs congratulating for the racing that's gone on tonight, but no, I'm wrapped. We've had a few tough things. For instance, I led one of my first dirt cups was 30 laps. I was leading it on 29th lap, went under the flag for the last lap, and my right rear wheel come off, and the car rolled and wrecked everything, you know. I had a big crash in Stratford where I broke my sternum. Yeah, and I was a bit worried about that because I had a big, the way I landed, it was a bit of internal stuff was a bit sore, but it's the weight of letting people down, you know. You think you've got all your crew, your family, your sponsors, and they're all there to see you, you know, and it is a bit of pressure. Not that anyone's ever put it on me, it's just that I feel when you've put a lot of effort in, and everyone else around you has, and your crew has, the sponsors have, the family have had to forego different occasions because of the racing, so it all ties together, you know, and that's what's important. That's the only way I can repay everyone back is by winning myself, because they put all their faith in me and their workmanship and their hours in the car. They don't get paid. It's a passion, and to win is what it's about.
The North City Cars and Commercials North Island Modified Champs has been taken out by Auckland driver Jamie Foxx. He raced brilliantly to take out the first heat and in fact accumulated enough points to win the North Island Modified Champs. These champs can now add to his New Zealand, Auckland and Waikato titles. What a season Jamie Foxx is having.
No one knows what goes on in there, only me or whoever's in the driver's seat. And yeah, you know, some meetings have been very emotional for me for different reasons. People that have crewed for me that have passed and so on. And, you know, you race for certain things. You get up for different occasions. But yeah, there's certainly once you've won, that's just a feeling that, yeah, I don't know, you can't explain it. It's the biggest feeling is driving in and seeing everyone standing there. You know, you can tell you've won. I don't have to ask anyone. I can see from their smiles and everyone's stoked, you know. But along with that comes the hard times, and those are the times that make you better. You just got to take those on board. And, you know, I've lost a lot more than I've ever won. I've won a lot of stuff, but I've lost a lot too. So I've made a point, if we've had a crash, trying to get it back together as quick as you can and get back out there. And yeah, you know, short of, you know, the odd day you don't feel like racing, but most 90% of the time we did. And I think that's why we had the results we did. We were all pretty passionate. Like I say, the crew are good. You know, the last couple of years I've struggled a bit with my breathing. I'm not fit enough, and I'm getting too old, and it's we really had nothing to prove for the last few years. It was just about seeing our racing career out and enjoying it, and that's what I tried to do, you know. I don't mind playing, having a few beers and playing pool. I'm not as good as Paul as I am at driving, but yeah, no, I just like, you know, we go to a few pool games. My Anne's in a pool club. Well, we both are, but when I race, I don't play. But yeah, we just play a bit of pool and have a few beers. Really, I don't get into boats or fishing too much or anything like that. So yeah, it's been racing my whole life. So it's actually been a lifestyle, isn't it? You know, with everything. So yeah, we haven't had much time to do much else. We've been doing this 40 years, so it's high time I did a few things for the family. So that's what I'm going to try and do for the immediate future anyway. I'd like everyone to remember us just as a team that give it their all, and we went throughout the country to every track we could race at, represented Auckland in every way we could, you know, and for the most part we won most events over the years at one stage or another. So yeah, I'd like to be remembered as a fair competitor, you know. I've taken people out. It's not something you do. It's just you're trying too hard. But yeah, I've done a few things I probably shouldn't have done, but like everyone's done things like that. But yeah, for the most part, I've kept on the straight and narrow. I've got my grandson coming along, which he's sort of making noises about being involved in the mini stocks, and with Fred and CJ and Jeremy, there's bound to be some cars or parts or something we can get hold of one, and we'll probably have a run in that. So I'll have a break, and then we'll probably get back into that side of things. And yeah, I'll be around about the traps, I suppose. But yeah, no, I've loved it. I've loved every minute of it, and very thankful to have my wife Anne and Steve and Malin, my two kids, and all my grandkids. You know, they've put up with 40 years of this, you know, so it's been a blessing that they've all been there with me, and we're still all together. Of course, naturally, my crew, Jamo, the effort that he's put in, and Chris. Jamo's put a lot of effort in for the class throughout the country, not just me. He's sponsored a lot of major events. So yeah, Jamie and Chris and Jeremy, Nick and Regan, the crew, the sponsors. I mean, yeah, everyone involved, even, you know, without any of them, it's too many to list. I mean, I've got, like I say, I've been fortunate enough to have the right people around me. But yeah, I've had great help. I've had great help lately from the last few years from Tim Clark, because the shock technology's changed. It was out of my league. So, you know, everyone that's been involved, all the sponsors on the cars, my crew's families, their wives, you know, they've put up with having to come to the racing, and it's been a collective of everyone, and that's the team effort. And we have got a great team, and we'll still all stay mates at the end of the day. We've been friends for all these years, you know, so yeah, it'll be different, but you know, you gotta move on. And yeah, I've been lucky to have so many loyal followers too, and no, it's been awesome, and I've appreciated everything, and certainly haven't taken anything for granted. I've tried to represent my club in the best way we can, and hopefully that, you know, we've done everyone proud. That's us.
clouds go by. We often watch how they got so high and dreamt as they went by. But we got older, caring about the time, wondering how those memories got lost along the line. And I could wish upon a star when we were young and the world seemed so kind. We'd laugh and play till the sun went down, hiding deep within the pines. But we got older and went our separate ways. I often wished you'd come back to me and see how I am today. And I could wish upon a star